Hey, what's up guys? It's Joe from GadgetryTech.com, and today I am driving the 2016 Lexus GSF, the most powerful sedan Lexus has ever made. Now it gets that power from the same 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that comes from the Lexus RCF, 467 horsepower, and that hits the ground with an 8-speed automatic, so it moves. Now with all that power, you gotta stop. Stopping comes from 14.9-inch rotors up front with 6-piston calipers, 14.5-inch rotors in the back with 4-piston calipers, so the clamping power is insane. Brake fade minimal because the rotors are huge. And last but not least, what is good is all that stop and go if you can't turn the car. And to me, the biggest surprise is the handling. That's where this car really shines. Naturally, it has very sticky tires. It's got plenty of grip when you need it. But when you're turning left and right aggressively, or you're nose diving into a corner and you need that car to be there for you, the handling of this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's stiff, but it's not so jarring that you can't drive it every day. Very responsive, and it communicates the road really well. So because I feel connected, I have more confidence behind the wheel, and that's going to make me a faster driver. Now to add to that, mechanically it's incredible. It has a lot of power, the handling is dialed in well, but it also has an amazing piece of technology in the back called a torque vectoring differential. Now, a torque vectoring differential drives power to the wheel that you need it most on, and it's all in the back. So if I'm taking a sharp right-hand turn, it's going to put extra power on the outside left wheel. That's to help get the car around the corner quicker without pushing the back end out, which again makes the car more stable, easy to drive, and make me feel more confident. That equates to faster lap times and less likelihood of crashing your car, which is awesome. Now that also helps going into corners because it's going to slow down the inside tire in that case to help the front end turn in. But all of that gets put together to make the car incredibly engaging to drive, where you don't have to think about, oh god, I hope this car sticks. You can just go and the car is there for you. Additionally, while we're going on electronic driving aids, this car has several different sport driving modes. I have economy, of course. If I'm just cruising around, it'll dull up the throttle response, shift early, keep the RPMs low, save gas. Also tones back the air conditioning system. Normal for everyday driving. Sport S, which is going to give a more aggressive drivetrain feel. It's going to shift a little bit harder. It's going to hold the gears out longer and make everything sharper. And when you start getting into Sport S Plus, that's where everything really sharpens up. You're going to have heavier steering wheel feel, so it feels a little bit more sporty. You're going to have a slightly stiffer suspension. The throttle, again, just like Sport S, is going to be nice and sharp, and it's going to hold the gears on gears 2 through 8, so kind of like a racing transmission. So all of that combines to make it feel incredibly well suited for the track without sacrificing anything. And then, because I have a Lexus GS, I just throw it in normal mode, and I can drive it every day without worrying about how comfortable I'm going to be, or how quiet my ride is. You know, I'm doing 60 miles an hour right now. You can barely hear the road in here. And that's pretty amazing for a car that can whoop up on most sports cars on the road while I have a family of 4 in the vehicle. So that's pretty cool. Now, going into the interior, it's very similar to the standard GS. Of course, you get these upgraded, incredibly comfortable and supportive seats, the same seats in the RCF that I love. But for the most part, the dash layout is the same. You know, I have a 12.3-inch screen up front. On this car, I have the upgraded Mark Levinson audio system, so I have premium, 800 plus watts of sound. Sounds incredible. You can crank it and the bass just keeps on going. The dash layout is similar, however, on here you have a carbon fiber inlay, unlike the aluminums and wood grain trims that you'll see on the standard GS. So all in all, it does share all the good things from the GS, but then it has this transplant of an RCF in it when it comes to power and handling and the steering, the steering and braking feel. So that whole package comes together, and it really gives you everything you could ask for. Car, 24 miles per gallon on the highway is nothing poor or incredible, but it's respectable for this kind of size of vehicle with this much power. It's only 100 pounds heavier than the RCF, so the fact that this big car is not much heavier than the sports coupe that debuted last year, that is awesome. It's kind of cool because you're, again, not giving up much. So that begs to ask, is this car worth the money? This car is $85,000, so you can be deciding on where your money is going. It's a big investment when you get into that, and there's obviously so many cars you could choose from. You really have to decide what kind of car is right for you. This car has a certain sex appeal to it because it's fairly unique. You can tell it's a Lexus GS, but there's some little tidbits here and there to make it look more masculine and powerful, and it stands out on the road. They have gorgeous paint colors to go with it. Now, this combines performance and luxury in one package so well that it's really hard to think of how much better you can go. I mean, yeah, better handling, better power, better fuel economy. You can improve on things, but as an entire package, this car is very well balanced between having a comfortable ride and having an incredibly composed, well-handling setup on the track. So for 85 grand, this car is 86 because of the Mark Levinson audio system. It's a steal. I don't have to buy a track toy for the weekend and then buy a normal everyday luxury car for daily driving. I can have it all in one vehicle, which means I can have fun with performance on the street when I want to and get that same car on the racetrack. I don't have to switch. So I get to enjoy it all the time. And that is huge. That's where the money goes, and that's why it's worth it. So I think Lexus really knocked it out of the park with this. I think it's even better than the RCF because of the entire package with having all these people you can fit in the car and everything else, and how easy and accessible it is to drive. So if you're in the market, check one out, go to the dealership, drive it, drive other cars in its class, see what you like, listen to the engine, that big naturally aspirated V8, see if that speaks to you. And I think you'll be as impressed as I am because I haven't driven a car I've liked this much in a long time. They really knocked it out of the park, and I'm going to be sad to see it go. So thanks for watching, guys. Shoot me any email or questions you have below. Post a comment if you're watching this on YouTube, and I will be happy to answer them for you. And thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye.